When people talk about Pixar classics, Toy Story usually takes the spotlight. But if you know a thing or two about the late 90s, you already know. A Bug's Life was different. It was weird, it was funny, it was surprisingly emotional. And behind the scenes, it was way more insane than you could have realized. From fake trailers, to hidden Steve Jobs references, to technology that literally didn't exist before this movie. These are 10 facts you wouldn't believe about A Bug's Life. Now, long before we met Flick, Pixar gave us a trailer. Fact 1. Pixar created a trailer scene separate from the movie. Before A Bug's Life was released, Pixar did something that nobody expected. They released a teaser trailer filled with scenes that do not exist anywhere in the actual movie. Not deleted scenes, not extended scenes. Completely fake scenes. The trailer shows Flick trying to present his invention to the colony. And everything goes horribly wrong in a way we never actually see in the final film. And this wasn't because the scenes were cut. They were created purely for marketing. Pixar literally animated brand new footage just to promote the film. At the time, this was almost unheard of in animation. But it worked. It made the movie feel bigger. And it became a tradition Pixar would use again in future films. But as creative as that was, it was only the beginning of how far Pixar went to bring this tiny world to life. Because to make this movie feel real, they had to shrink themselves down. Fact 2. Pixar built a real bug cam to see like an insect. One of the biggest challenges was perspective. How do you make the world look real when your characters are the size of ants? Pixar's solution was genius. They built something called a bug cam. It was a tiny camera mounted on small wheels that could move through grass and dirt. This allowed the team to see the world exactly how a bug would see it. And what they discovered surprised them. Sunlight shining through grass looked like giant glowing windows. Plants changed color throughout the day. Everything felt massive, almost magical. This is why the film has that unique, glowing, colorful look. Because it was based on real footage. Now seeing bugs was one thing, but hearing them? That was a completely different ballgame. Fact 3. The grasshopper sounds were made from motorcycles, crab shells, and kazoos. If you listen closely to Hopper and the grasshoppers, they sound terrifyingly real. And that was intentional. But those sounds didn't all come from real insects. They came from some of the weirdest objects imaginable. Motorcycle engine roars were blended with the dragonflies buzzing to create the deep, aggressive sound of the grasshopper herd. That's not all. Flexible straws were bent and straightened to make their wing movements, and uncooked shells were cracked to create the crunchy effects. Now, believe it or not, but someone blew across waving playing cards for Dot's wings, a helicopter for Dim, and a rocking chair for Slim's movements. Even Hopper's antenna twitching was created by scratching fingernails on a surface. It's honestly insane how creative the sound team got. Sound might have brought the insects to life, but animating them would keep their hearts beating, especially when you needed hundreds of ants on screen at once. Fact 4. Pixar invented new software, just to animate 800 ants. There are scenes in the movie where you see hundreds of ants moving together, and animating each one individually would have been impossible. So Pixar created brand new software. This software allowed them to design 8 base ants in groups, then automatically generate hundreds of variations. They could change eye color, body shape, size. No 2 ants looked the same. Without this technology, the colony would have looked fake and repetitive. Instead, it felt alive. But there was still one huge problem. Real ants are kind of terrifying up close, and Pixar knew audiences wouldn't connect with them unless they changed them. Fact 5. The ants were redesigned to be cute, not nightmare fuel. If you've ever seen an ant up close, you would know they're not exactly adorable. They have sharp mandibles, multiple legs, and crazy eyes, and honestly, they were better suited for a horror movie, as the evil entity that haunts the guest house. Pixar realized early on that this wouldn't work, so they redesigned them. They removed the mandibles, took out the 6 legs, gave them 2 arms and legs like humans, made them stand upright, and softened their features. This made them expressive, relatable, lovable. Ironically, they did the opposite with the grasshoppers. They made them bigger, scarier, more intimidating, even added a few more limbs, especially Hopper. And speaking of Hopper, his character was inspired by someone very real, someone who helped build Pixar itself. Fact 6. Hopper is heavily inspired by Steve Jobs. Do you know Steve Jobs? The co-founder of Apple and the man who owned Pixar at the time. Well, the animators studied his hand gestures, his posture, and his presence, then used them to build up Hopper. Even one of the jokes in the film references one of Jobs' real business ideas. Remember the tunnel in a tunnel thing? Well, at the time, Jobs wanted to build an Apple store in an Apple store. This added a layer of realism to Hopper, because he didn't just feel like a villain, he felt like a powerful leader.
Shut up! I don't want to hear another word out of you while we're on this island. Do you understand me?
But Hopper wasn't the only hidden presence behind the scenes. Some of the filmmakers themselves actually appeared in the movie. You just didn't realize it. Fact 7. The directors secretly voiced characters in the film. The two mosquitoes flying toward the bug zapper, where one goes, "Harry, don't go towards the light," and the other one says, "I can't help it. It's so beautiful."
I can't help it. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, those voices belong to the directors themselves, John Lasseter and Andrew Stanton. It's a small moment, but it's hilarious, and it's one of Pixar's favorite traditions, sneaking themselves into their films. But this time, Pixar didn't just hide her directors and characters. She hid jokes everywhere, even in the music. Fact 8. You can hear hidden songs like La Cucaracha in the background. Pixar filled the movie with musical Easter eggs. When the grasshoppers are relaxing near a sombrero, they sing La Cucaracha. It literally translates to the cockroach. And in the bar scene, the piano is quietly playing the Itsy Bitsy Spider, while the ants and other bugs go about their business. It's the kind of detail you don't notice the first time, but when you do, you feel like you've unlocked a little secret. That's Pixar at its finest, hiding clever, character-driven jokes in the background for sharp-eyed fans. But while these details added humor, some character decisions were made for a much darker reason, especially when it came to Molt. Fact 9. Molt exists because Hopper needed a reason not to kill him. Now, Molt is definitely a favorite grasshopper of many. He's funny, he's awkward, he's annoying.
I shall select the perfect volunteer.
Oh, pick me. Oh, no.
Come on.
And that's exactly why Pixar made him Hopper's brother. Molt was created just to be comic relief in tense Hopper situations. Because realistically, Hopper would never tolerate someone like Molt. He would never have met him in the gang, unless he was family. Making them brothers made their relationship believable. It also made Hopper more complex, more human. And of course, it reminds us all of our annoying, plan-ruining siblings. By this point, Pixar had pushed themselves further than ever before. But nothing compares to just how massive this movie really was. Fact 10. This movie was 7 times bigger than Toy Story. After Toy Story became a success, Pixar knew they had to go big or go home. And they did. A Bug's Life used rendering systems 7 times larger and 60 more shots. Toy Story had roughly 40 animators. A Bug's Life had 23 more, for a total of 63 animators. Toy Story had around 785 models and shaders. A Bug's Life added 270 more, bringing the total to over 1,050 models. Even character feet got an upgrade. A Bug's Life has 1,005 more animated feet, just to make the ants and grasshoppers move convincingly. It had more of everything. This wasn't just another movie. It was a massive leap forward, and it helped prove that Pixar wasn't a one-hit wonder. They were the future of animation. And that's it. 10 weird facts you didn't know about A Bug's Life. Looking back, it wasn't just a fun movie. It was a turning point. It showed how far animation could go, how much detail could be hidden beneath the surface, and how much passion Pixar had for storytelling. Because now you realize just how much work went into every second. If you enjoyed this video, you need to check out our breakdown of Zootopia. It's another animated film that secretly went way deeper than anyone expected. Trust me, it'll change how you see everything. And if you love Pixar and animation facts, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stick around. As Flick would say, it's not the size of the ant in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the ant. And see you in the next one.